In the quiet corners of an old attic, where sunlight struggled to pierce through layers of dust and forgotten memories, lay a collection of dolls. Each doll bore the patina of time. Their once vibrant colors faded into soft pastels, and their eyes, though once painted with care, now seemed to gleam with a subtle hint of something more. Among these dolls was a particularly ancient one, a doll that had once belonged to their late grandmother. Its porcelain face was delicate yet haunting, frozen in a perpetual expression of serene sadness. Its dress, once elegant and finely stitched, now draped in moth-eaten lace, whispered tales of eras long past. As dusk settled over the attic, casting long shadows that danced eerily across the cracked wooden floorboards, the dolls began to stir. It started with a faint creaking, as if joints that had long been immobile were suddenly urged to move again. The air grew heavy with a sense of anticipation, and a chill crept down the spine of anyone who dared to listen closely. The grandmother's doll, with its glassy eyes that seemed to reflect the dimming light, took the lead. Slowly, almost hesitantly at first, it lifted its arm. The other dolls followed suit, their movements disjointed yet strangely synchronized, as if they were all part of some macabre ballet. They moved silently across the attic, their delicate footsteps barely making a sound. Their eyes, once painted in static shades, now gleamed with an otherworldly luminescence, casting eerie glows upon the walls. Some whispered ancient lullabies under their breath, while others seemed to communicate in silent gestures, their fingers curling and unfurling in patterns known only to them. Outside, the wind howled through the ancient oaks, sending shivers through the attic's worn walls. The dolls' movements grew more animated, their delicate forms spinning and twirling with a grace that belied their lifeless appearances. They seemed caught in a dance of memories, each step a testament to the lives they had witnessed, the stories they had kept. But as the night deepened and the moon cast its silvery light through the attic window, the dolls' movements began to slow. Their eyes, once filled with a strange spark of life, dulled once more into mere painted glass. One by one, they returned to their places, their fragile bodies settling back into the quiet stillness of the attic. And as the first light of dawn painted the sky, the attic lay silent once more. The dolls, frozen in their positions, seemed no different than they had been before, a collection of relics from a bygone era. Yet, for those who had witnessed their nocturnal dance, the memory lingered like a ghostly echo, a reminder that even the most forgotten treasures can harbor secrets untold. Years passed after that eerie night in the attic. The family, unaware of the dolls' nocturnal activities, continued their lives in the old house. But within the attic, the dolls remained, their ancient eyes watching silently over the passage of time. One stormy evening, when thunder rumbled ominously and rain lashed against the windows, a young girl named Emily stumbled upon the attic's entrance. Curiosity tugged at her heart as she climbed the creaky stairs, drawn by a faint whisper of forgotten secrets and untold stories. Pushing open the attic door, Emily hesitated at the threshold. The air was thick with the scent of aged wood and musty memories. Cobwebs hung like veils between forgotten trinkets and dusty boxes, casting eerie shadows in the dim light filtering through the small attic window. Her eyes fell upon the collection of dolls. Despite the years that had passed, they remained as she remembered from her childhood, a silent assembly of porcelain faces and delicate forms. But tonight there was something different. A faint glimmer seemed to linger in their eyes, a spark of life that flickered like a distant flame. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she approached the grandmother's doll, the one with the haunting porcelain face. Its eyes, once glassy and static, now seemed to hold a depth that drew her in. She reached out tentatively, her fingers brushing against the cool surface of its cheek. Suddenly, a memory flashed before her eyes, a glimpse of the attic on that fateful night when the dolls had danced in silent rhythm. Emily's heart raced as she realized the truth. The dolls were more than mere objects. They held memories, emotions, and perhaps even a longing for the stories they had witnessed. As if in response to her thoughts, a soft murmur filled the air. Emily turned to see the other dolls stirring, their delicate hands reaching out in silent invitation. With a mixture of fear and fascination, She took a step closer, drawn deeper into the mystery that surrounded them. One by one, the dolls began to move. Their movements were slow and deliberate, as if guided by an unseen force, a force that whispered of forgotten dreams and unspoken wishes. They swayed to an ancient melody that echoed through the attic, a haunting tune that spoke of love lost and memories cherished. Emily watched in awe as the dolls danced once more, their fragile forms twirling gracefully amidst the shadows. They seemed to dance through time itself, weaving a tapestry of moments long past and futures yet to be. And as the storm outside raged on, lightning illuminating the attic with fleeting flashes of light, Emily realized that she had stumbled upon something extraordinary. The dolls, with their silent stories and timeless grace, had opened a door to a world where memories lived on, etched into the very fabric of their porcelain souls. As dawn broke and the storm finally subsided, Emily left the attic with a heart full of wonder. The dolls returned to their places, their porcelain faces serene once more. But the memory of that night, of the dance in the attic amidst the storm, would stay with her forever, a testament to the enduring magic that lay hidden within the quiet corners of the old house. Years passed, and Emily grew older, but the memory of that enchanted night in the attic never left her. She often found herself drawn back to the old house, to the attic where the dolls remained, silent and unmoving during the day, yet alive with mysterious energy when night fell. The dolls, too, seemed to remember Emily. Their eyes would follow her as she wandered among them, as if silently inviting her to join their dance once more. And on certain nights, when the moon was full and the wind whispered secrets through the ancient oak trees, Emily would heed their call. One autumn evening, as Emily stood at the attic window, watching leaves tumble in the breeze, she felt a familiar pull. The air hummed with anticipation, as if the dolls sensed her presence and awaited her return. Taking a deep breath, Emily approached the grandmother's doll, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. She reached out and gently touched its porcelain hand, half expecting it to spring to life as it had that first night long ago. To her surprise, the doll remained still. The attic was quiet, save for the distant sound of rustling leaves and the occasional hoot of an owl. Emily wondered if perhaps the magic had faded, if the dolls had returned to mere artifacts of a bygone era. But just as she turned to leave, a soft melody drifted through the air, a melody that she recognized from that night years ago. The other dolls stirred, their movements slow and deliberate, as if responding to an ancient rhythm that only they could hear. Emily watched in wonder as they began to dance once more. Their delicate forms twirled gracefully, their eyes gleaming with a faint light that seemed to glow from within. They moved with a haunting elegance, each step a testament to the stories they had witnessed over the years. As Emily stood mesmerized by the dance unfolding before her, she felt a hand on her shoulder. Startled, she turned to see a figure standing in the shadows, a figure she recognized from her childhood memories. It was her grandmother, though much older now, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and joy. She smiled gently at Emily, her voice barely more than a whisper. "They remember," her grandmother said, her voice tinged with nostalgia. "They remember the love and the laughter, the tears and the dreams. They remember it all, and they have been waiting for you." With tears in her eyes, Emily reached out and embraced her grandmother. Together, they watched the dolls dance into the night, their movements a testament to the timeless bond that connected generations past and present. And as the first light of dawn painted the sky once more, Emily knew that she had discovered something precious, an enduring magic that transcended time and space, woven into the very fabric of their family's history. From that day forward, Emily visited the attic regularly, cherishing the moments she spent with the dolls and her grandmother. Each visit brought new revelations and deeper understanding of the stories that had shaped their lives. And though the dolls eventually grew still once more, their legacy lived on in Emily's heart, a reminder that within the quiet corners of the old house, magic and memories intertwined, waiting to be discovered by those who dared to believe. One chilly winter evening, Emily returned to the attic, her breath misting in the frosty air. The old house creaked with age as she climbed the stairs, the soft glow of a lantern casting shadows that danced along the walls. The attic greeted her with its familiar hush, the dolls standing silent and serene in their places. Emily paused before the grandmother's doll, her hand resting gently on its porcelain shoulder. Memories flooded back, of dances shared in moonlit attics, of whispers exchanged between generations, and of a bond that transcended time itself. As she stood there, lost in reverie, a soft melody once again filled the air. It was a melody she knew by heart now, the song that called the dolls to life. To her surprise, the dolls stirred from their stillness, their movements fluid and graceful as they came to life in the dim light. But this time there was something different. Among the dolls, one stood out, a doll that Emily had not seen before. Its features were familiar yet distinct, its dress adorned with delicate lace that shimmered in the lantern's glow. Emily's heart skipped a beat as she realized who it resembled. "It's her," Emily whispered, her voice barely audible in the quiet attic. The dolls continued their dance, their movements weaving a story of love and loss, of joy and sorrow. The new doll moved with a sense of purpose, as if it carried memories not just of the past, but also of the present. As the dance reached its crescendo, Emily felt a gentle touch on her shoulder once more. She turned to see her grandmother standing beside her, her eyes sparkling with unshed tears. "She wanted you to have this," her grandmother said softly, her voice filled with a bittersweet tenderness. Emily reached out, her fingers trembling as she touched the new doll's hand. The doll's eyes met hers, and in that moment, Emily felt a deep connection, a bond that spanned generations and bridged the gap between the living and the past. Together, Emily and her grandmother watched as the dolls completed their dance, their movements a testament to the enduring legacy of love and family. And as the final notes of the melody faded into the night, Emily knew that she had discovered more than just a collection of dolls in the attic. She had uncovered a story of resilience and remembrance, of secrets whispered in the quiet corners of an old house. And as she left the attic that night, carrying the new doll in her arms, Emily knew that she would forever hold a piece of her family's history close to her heart. For in that attic, where time stood still and memories lingered like echoes in the wind, Emily had found not just magic, but a legacy of love that would guide her through the years to come. Emily's grandmother led her gently down the attic stairs, the soft glow of the lantern illuminating their path. They descended in silence, each lost in their own thoughts, the weight of generations' memories hanging heavy in the air. Once they reached the warmth of the living room, Emily's grandmother settled into her favorite armchair by the crackling fireplace. She gestured for Emily to join her, the flames casting a flickering light over the room as they settled into a comfortable silence. "It's time you knew the full story," Emily's grandmother began, her voice soft yet steady. "The doll you saw tonight, it was meant to be a gift, a connection between our family's past and your future." Emily listened intently as her grandmother recounted tales of their ancestors, weaving a tapestry of lives lived amidst joys and hardships. She spoke of a great-grandmother who had cherished the very doll Emily now held, a doll that had witnessed the trials of a bygone era and the enduring strength of family bonds. "Our family has always believed in the magic of memories," her grandmother continued, her eyes reflecting the firelight's glow. "The dolls in the attic, they are more than mere toys. They are vessels of our stories, keepers of our dreams, and reminders of the love that binds us together across time and space." Emily nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude for the legacy she had inherited. She looked down at the doll cradled in her arms, its delicate features etched with a silent grace that spoke volumes. In its glassy eyes, she glimpsed echoes of laughter and tears, of moments both ordinary and extraordinary that had shaped their family's journey. As the fire crackled and embers danced in the hearth, Emily's grandmother leaned forward, her voice a whisper carried on the wings of nostalgia. "Keep her close, Emily," she said, her words a gentle plea. "Let her remind you of where you come from, of the strength and resilience that runs through our veins. And know that as long as we cherish these memories, our family's story will live on, bound by love and embraced by time." With those words lingering in the air like a benediction, Emily held the doll closer to her heart. She understood now that the attic held not just relics of the past, but a treasure trove of stories waiting to be told. And as she looked at her grandmother, their eyes meeting across the flickering fire, Emily knew that she would carry their shared history with her always. A beacon of light in the darkness, a testament to the enduring power of love and family. And so, as the night deepened and the fire burned low, Emily and her grandmother sat in quiet communion, their souls intertwined with the tapestry of generations past and future. In that timeless moment, the old house embraced them both, a sanctuary of memories where the echoes of laughter and the whispers of love would forever echo through its halls. Years passed, and Emily grew into a young woman, but her bond with the attic and its inhabitants remained strong. She visited whenever she could, drawn by the whispers of history and the comforting presence of the dolls. Each time she ascended the attic stairs, memories flooded back, of dances shared under moonlit beams, of stories whispered among generations, and of the enduring legacy that had shaped her family's journey. One summer afternoon, Emily returned to the old house after several months away. The sun bathed the countryside in golden hues as she stepped through the familiar front door, a sense of anticipation tingling in her veins. She greeted her grandmother, now frail yet still filled with a quiet strength, and they exchanged smiles that spoke volumes of the unspoken connection between them. Later that evening, as dusk painted the sky in shades of lavender and rose, Emily found herself drawn to the attic once more. The familiar creak of the stairs echoed softly in the stillness, and she lit a lantern to guide her way. The attic greeted her with its comforting hush, the air thick with the scent of memories woven into the fabric of time. Among the dolls, Emily sought out the one that had once been her great-grandmother's. Its porcelain face seemed to radiate a warmth that transcended its silent form, its eyes a mirror to the past and a beacon to the future. Emily smiled as she remembered the dances they had shared, the stories they had whispered in the quiet of the night. But tonight, there was a new energy in the attic, a sense of anticipation that tingled in the air like static before a storm. As Emily approached the dolls, she noticed a faint shimmering light, like fireflies dancing in the twilight. The dolls stirred, their movements fluid and graceful as they came to life once more. Yet amidst the familiar faces, Emily noticed a doll she had never seen before, a doll that seemed to shimmer with an ethereal glow, its features familiar yet otherworldly. She reached out, her fingers trembling with a mix of curiosity and wonder. "It's time," whispered a voice from behind her. Emily turned to see her grandmother standing at the attic doorway, her eyes filled with a quiet resolve. Emily's grandmother stepped forward, her presence a reassuring anchor in the swirling currents of the unknown. She gently touched the new doll, her fingers tracing patterns of love and remembrance that span generations. "This is for you," her grandmother said softly, her voice a melody that echoed through the attic's timeless embrace. "A gift from our ancestors, a reflection of our shared journey." Emily nodded, her heart overflowing with gratitude and reverence. She understood now, the new doll embodied not just her great-grandmother's spirit, but the collective spirit of all who had come before. It was a symbol of resilience, of love that transcended time and space, and of the unbreakable bond that held their family together through the ages. Together, Emily and her grandmother watched as the dolls danced in the fading light, their movements a celebration of life's tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, of laughter and tears. The new doll moved with a grace that spoke of wisdom beyond its years, carrying with it the echoes of 1,000 whispered secrets and untold dreams. As the dance drew to a close, Emily felt a sense of peace settle over her soul, a deep knowing that she carried within her the strength and courage of those who had walked before her. She looked at her grandmother, their eyes meeting in silent communion, and knew that their shared journey was far from over. And so, as the stars painted the night sky with a tapestry of twinkling light, Emily held the new doll close to her heart. It was more than just an heirloom. It was a testament to the enduring power of love, a beacon of hope that illuminated their family's path through the darkness and into the light. As dawn broke on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the old house and its surrounding fields, Emily and her grandmother descended the attic stairs hand in hand. They carried with them the echoes of the night, the dances shared, the stories whispered, and the legacy of a family bound together by a love that knew no boundaries of time or space. And in the quiet of the morning, as birdsong filled the air and a new day dawned, Emily knew that the attic would forever remain a sanctuary, a place where memories lingered like echoes in the wind, and where the spirits of generations past danced on in eternal harmony.